The video is titled "Huge Combat Changes. They Listened." That is a really good call. So let's watch this and see what has changed.
Hello and welcome back, guys. I know it has been a while. I haven't posted a video in a few months, but like somebody a lot wiser than me once said, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all.
I like that.
But today is much different. Today I have a lot of really positive things to say, and I thought I might as well bring it out into the general community and have us start the discussion.
Okay.
I have been playing the Evocati test flight build for 4.4, and I have noticed a few things when it comes to the weapon balance and where the game is kind of pushing to.
Okay.
And what I saw made me very, 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 very happy. I have been very critical on Star Citizen's combat flight model and general balance, and I guess you could say overall feel for the project. This, I think, is very well documented. I think people are very aware that I'm very critical on these things because I genuinely really like the game. I want it to be successful, and there are some clear problems with the flight model, combat system, weapon ranges, all this stuff, which is always in flux. But if we don't give CIG proper, good, objective feedback with lots of examples, then we can't expect CIG to fix them. However, it seems like all that yakking has paid off. It seems like CIG is starting to get it. So I want to, when they do something right, I've told you guys this before, when they do something right, I want to take a second to be like, look, SIG, you guys nailed this one. This is kind of what we want to see. And so today I want to talk to you guys about the completely new weapon balance that we're moving to, what this means for us, what this means for combat in Star Citizen, and what things are going to start looking like. And hopefully in the future we continue to move this direction because this is a very healthy direction, not only for multi-crew, but for fighters as well.
Now I'm curious how these changes that they're doing are going to couple with engineering. I'm sure maybe he'll talk about it, but I think that's like a really important point to bring up is like, okay, these changes are great and all, but like, how does it work in terms of like engineering when that comes out? Because engineering is going to be a big deal. Like, it's going to change everything.
Okay, so let's first start off with the stats. What exactly is changing with weapons specifically? Okay. So as of right now in live, most weapons are sitting around the 2,500 to 3,000 meter range. Okay. Which is an exceedingly long distance for combat. Okay. This causes a lot of issues. In the current build of live, having such ridiculously long ranges on fighters allows small ships to engage large ships essentially risk-free. So here we have a nice, beautiful B-roll of some Paladins, which we did some testing on when the Paladin was first coming out. Nice and we noticed that this entire gang of 6 or 7 Paladins died to a group of 4 Gladius. None of the Gladiuses died, and all 6 of the Paladins were shot down.
What?
Died. Which we did some testing on when the Paladin was first coming out. And we noticed that this entire gang of 6 or 7 Paladins died to a group of 4 Gladius. None of the Gladiuses died, and all 6 of the Paladins were shot down, one by one. And this is because of 2 things. One, fighters can engage at long range, so you can't actually get your projectile to hit back on.
Okay, I just want to really quickly say something. So what he was just talking about is before the changes, because automatically in my head I said, excuse me, how did that happen again? So this is before the changes, and he's explaining the deflection angle right now, I guess.
On a big multi-crew ship. This has been the core issue of the problem when it comes to multi-crew balance. So no matter what CIG says or sees on their stats, in reality, anybody that has a modicum of training in combat and PvP is going to be able to easily kill multi-crew ships. Okay. Now, this example here that you're seeing is a fight at very close ranges. And this is kind of what CIG wants us to fight at.
Oh, boy.
But the problem was, because you could engage from so far away, you never needed to take those fights.
Yeah.
So
That was
what
close.
they've done is they've completely rechanged and retuned the weapon balance and ranges for the 4.4 ETF build.
They did?
And what they've done is they've reduced ranges for all guns, size 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to less than 1,300 meters.
What? So it went from 2.5K to less than 1,300. And look how it goes up. It's 400 more for 4 sizes up. That is interesting. This is the engineering test. Okay. Wow. That is amazing. And that is exciting. Because, like, I don't know if you guys got to watch my Arena Commander training whatsoever, but I've done a lot of Arena Commander training recently. We're going to start doing it every day on stream, at least 1 hour. Probably towards the end of the stream, I'm going to do Arena Commander every single day because I want to get better. But one of the things that was really difficult, and a shout out to Saltine, he's the one who trained me a lot. Also, allegedly, Adam did a lot of training with me too. One of the biggest things is like staying close to your target. And you saw that fight previous in this video. He was staying very close to his target. That is really tough to do. But now you're going to have to do that if you want to be good at PvP in a light fighter. You're going to have to get that close. And that's interesting because it's not easy whatsoever. It is actually very difficult to do.
Size 5s sit at around 13. Size 4s probably around 1250. Size 3s are around 1200.
What this is telling me is I'm going to buy an Ion now. I want to be the sniper guy who can snipe all of these little tiny puny size 1 ships out of the sky. So I'm going to buy an Ion is what I'm going to do right after I watch this video.
To 1300. Size 2s are around 1000 to 1100, and size 1s are 900 to around 1000.
Wow.
With lasers only. Okay.
Oh, wait. Whoa.
Now, ballistics have a different methodology. Ballistics are anywhere from 200 to 300 meters longer range than their laser counterparts. But again, lasers take power, they build heat, but they're unlimited ammo. Okay. This caused, again, a lot of issues with the live build because you could sit at long range and engage forever, indefinitely,
Backstrafing.
against a large capital target, which means even the Idris would lose to a small pack of fighters if given enough time to get there. So, with the change in weapon speeds, with the change in weapon ranges, what this is going to do is force large combat engagements to be closer together. Because the only way for fighters now to engage and apply damage will be at roughly below 1200 meters.
Wow.
Which, if you've been paying attention to stream and all the stuff here on the channel,
Yes.
is still within range of return fire from turreted systems. So, for example, on a Polaris or
PDCs, right?
an Idris or a Vanguard or even a Paladin, if you stay just above 1,000 meters, you're typically safe. No matter how much they're shooting at you, you're fine. But now it's going to force fighters to do 2 things. One, they're going to have to engage in a space
Dude.
that they can also receive damage on, which is something that I have been begging CIG to understand. And now they've done it.
I just want to say something, by the way. This is essentially nerfing. It's essentially nerfing the light fighters, right? It's pretty much nerfing them. And he is a pilot. Avenger 1 is a pilot that is a light fighter pilot, and like most of the time he's running light fighters. And he's happy about this. That makes me happy. Because it's just like, it means that his vision for the game is bigger than just himself. You know what I mean? Which is awesome.
Which is going to force fighters to do 2 things. One, take passes, which means they're going to engage at less than 1,000, get damage on, and when they receive damage, they're going to fly away and come around for another pass. Or they're going to have to get super, and I mean super close to the multi-crew ship, where it's almost basically sitting on top of it.
Yeah.
And orbit the enemy ship
That's tough.
at a range that the turrets have trouble tracking because they're just so close.
That's what I was talking about earlier. And that's a very tough thing to do, by the way. Like orbiting that close is probably the hardest thing I've ever done in this game.
So you're either going to be really, really close, or you're going to take a pass, bang, 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 take some damage, and fly away. Okay? This is exactly what I would have done if I was CIG. If you gave me the reins and said, AV1, what do we do with this? This is exactly what I would have done. Okay? It's not a perfect solution yet, and there are still problems. Okay?
What are the
Turrets
problems?
are still going to have some trouble because now also their ranges are reduced.
Okay.
So I'm going to give 2 solutions that CIG should think about
That's
when
cool.
it comes to building on this in a good direction.
Let's see what he
okay?
says. Yeah, let's see what he
As
says.
of right now, all weapons have essentially the same stats. So a Panther that's put on a Retaliator or an Idris or a multi-crew ship has the exact same stats as a Panther put on a Gladius, an Arrow, and other ships.
Okay.
This is a problem because the platform, like a Fury, is significantly smaller and can avoid more damage. And the Badgers that are put on a Fury do the same damage and have the same velocity that, let's say, Badgers that are put on a Connie. Now, the Connie has much less room to move, and thus we talk about the same problem we've been talking about for years now, where a smaller ship engages larger ship, and there's a kind of disbalance between risk and reward.
Okay.
Now, fighters cannot use turrets unless you're a specific kind of heavy fighter and vice versa, right?
Right.
So what you can do, if I was CIG, is one of 2 things. One, make all turrets bespoke. In a sense, like we take Panthers and put them on a Connie turret. Instead, let's remove the turret entirely and replace it with a bespoke turret. So for example, let's say you created an Aegis hammer, an Aegis Dagger 3 turret or whatever it's called, right? This is just an example. And that specific Aegis turret could be fit on any turret slot on any multi-crew ship, size, 4 and above or whatever. So a
Okay.
Connie would instead would have this new bespoke turret, which would have unique weapons, okay? And if you make 5 or 6 of these bespoke turrets, then you can interchange those turrets between all these different multi-crew ships, but these turrets would have very specific weapons. So for example, these turrets would have different stats, their lasers would go a little farther, they'd have a little more velocity,
Okay.
and thus it would solve the problem of what we talked about before on this channel, the asymmetrical engagement, where light fighters and small fighters, can engage from these very long ranges. So these bespoke turrets could have different stats, which would allow them to apply damage to these smaller fighters because they'd have higher velocity, longer range. It would make it more risky for these fighters to sit at long range and try to peck away at you, because now they're going to receive higher velocity fire, effective fire, judging by the size of their ship.
Okay.
And the second option is you add hull bonuses, like how EVE Online did.
Yes.
Now, there was a rumor going around that CIG was flirting with this idea, and they may still do this.
What?
So, for example, the Hammerhead has Rhino size 4 lasers. They have the same velocity and stats that a Rhino that you put on a Buccaneer or a Talon. This is the problem because, again, it comes down to the asymmetrical engagement where smaller ship engages bigger ship. I can engage from longer range and he can't hit me back. So what this can do is you can give a bonus to something like a Hammerhead, which says any laser weapon or laser repeater gets a 50 to 100% bonus in weapon velocity when placed on the Hammerhead.
Oh,
right?
interesting.
So there is a specific bonus to
like
the
that, I
ship
think.
hull itself, which changes the stats of the weapons that are placed on it.
Yeah, I like that.
This, as well as the bespoke turret option, are 2 very realistic, very viable, and straightforward ways to fix the critical issue of Star Citizen combat. But I gotta say, folks, playing with these new ranges, playing with these new things in the 4.4p.
Look at him just orbiting, by the way. Like he's just orbiting. He's just orbiting this stinger over and over and over again. Do you see, like, this is not easy to do, by the way, at all. Like, this is very tough to do. He is under 200 meters from this guy, and you can see the stinger is actually back strafing. You see he's like thrusting backwards. He's negative 78 MS right now. and he just doesn't know what to do. He's trying to get his nose on the on Avenger 1's nose, and it's impossible to do because of how close he is.
Super, super, super excited. We are finally getting some of the issues with the flight model fixed.
That's awesome,
and it makes me very hopeful that the next iteration of the flight combat system that we've heard rumors about will also be moving in this direction, because they absolutely nailed the weapon balance.
Good.
Well,
that's good. Well,
they definitely went
almost
in the right direction.
Yeah.
We're not done yet, and we got some room to improve. But it is a huge, huge, huge step up from the current system we have now in live and the current way the game plays and feels.
Wow. Cool.
I can't tell you much more because there is NDAs.
Ooh.
I can't show you this in person because of the NDA restriction. However, I'm very excited, and I think you should be too. We have brighter days coming for Star Citizen, and it's all thanks to people who've been pushing this and all the fans out there coming to stream, going to Spectrum, making sure CIG hears the right feedback.
By the way, there's people in my chat saying this is easy to do. Yes, for you guys that have thousands of hours of flying, this is easy to do. But orbiting a ship is not easy to do. For Joe Schmo, which is my target audience, the noobs, okay, the bobs, like, this is hard to do. This is very hard to do. For me, this is probably really hard to do. I don't know. But this is not easy, okay? For anyone who's just starting or whatever. But this is what's gonna have to happen. This is what you're gonna have to do if you're a light fighter. You're gonna have to get that close from now on, which is, yeah.